some following pipe, and they go to different stuff.
Angel, I can hear Ethan in the background of your.
What's that?
I could hear Ethan in the hallway from your
So like, I don't know.
from your audio.
Oh,
This is like
there's
It's
some.
not that bad, but I could definitely tell it's Ethan.
Okay.
oil, right?
Good afternoon. We're getting started here. Sorry, I'm in a new office and I have a little bit of background noise, so let me know if it's too distracting. Welcome to the July Mobility and Access Coalition meeting. I know a few people said that they weren't able to be here, so I appreciate y'all being able to join today. Joseph, go ahead and share the screen.
When I'm tracing plumbing, sometimes the plumbing will lead me to one of these.
Give me 1 second, let me pull it up.
Yeah, that's how I'm trying to figure out where they are, because like.
It's like a little bit, but I don't think it's too distracting.
Okay.
It's like negative.
Now y'all are getting the inside scoop on what it's gonna take to maintain our building. Talking about all the stuff, so. It's good seeing so many faces today. Hi, Raina. Hi, Wade. Hi, Annette. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Thanks, Joseph, for sharing.
Liz. I could also do it if it's easier, Joseph. Oh, never mind.
Great.
Here,
Thank you.
Steve.
Yep.
Okay. We just put up as a slide.
Yeah, do you want maybe add on presenters mode?
Great. And all set.
Okay, can you go up to display settings, please, and up at the top, and then change duplicate slideshow, maybe.
Okay, there we go. Do you see it?
Nope, it's still the presenters mode for us.
Let me see here. Try again.
Thanks, Joseph, for working through this.
Yeah, I feel like we're used to Teams.
Yeah.
Zoom, but
All right.
Zoom is more.
We're new. We're new to this. No, it's only been 5 years, but we're working it out. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you all, and welcome to the July 16th Mobility and Access Coalition meeting. We have a great agenda today. I know that we have a few fewer people than what we normally do, but I really appreciate everybody being here. Next slide. I know that we are all pros at this now, but just a reminder that this is in Zoom. You can open it in your browser if you're having issues with the apps. Next slide. So if you have to join from your browser, just click on the join from browser at the bottom. Next slide. And also just a reminder that once you registered, you got an invite that had also a one-tap phone call. So you can click on that and you can call in and listen into the conversation if you have any tech issues throughout this meeting. Next slide. And just to kind of orient us with some of these icons, we have the microphone in the bottom left-hand corner. Please mute yourself unless you have something to share with the whole group so we can limit background noise. Also, your camera is the next icon over. So when you're speaking, please use the camera on if you can, just so that we can aid better communication. And then in the center, you have the participant icon where you can see other people who are participating. If everybody could please put their name, their organization in the chat, that'll help us take meeting minutes and keep track of who's able to attend. And then lastly, the chat is right next to the participants, so you can go ahead and put your name in there. Thank you. Next slide. So just a reminder to all of you, I know that we say this every month, but the Mobility and Access Coalition is a cross-sector coordination group that really focuses on multimodal access for underserved populations. We really believe that transportation is a social determinant of health and is essential to achieving equity. People can't get to their doctor's appointments, grocery stores, jobs without transportation. So we're here to share information and to learn about upcoming projects that will help improve transportation for folks. Next slide. So this is our agenda for today. We're going to start with a case study. I know people like doing that. It's been a while since we've done one. We're going to have a few organizational updates that we'll go into after that. And then we have two presentations, one from RTD on the changes that they're proposing to the Access on Demand program, and then another one for the countywide strategic transit planning project. So we're going to go ahead and start with the case study. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the chat. This is the case study for everybody to read. So this is a situation where somebody lives in Ward and they are a low-income senior and they need to try to get to the Netherlands senior lunch at 12 o'clock on Wednesdays. They also would like to get to the community center and the food pantry on Thursdays. They don't have a refrigerator, so they often go to BNF Grocery to get ice for their cooler. And we just basically are asking what mobility options and what is the trip plan for this person. So I'm going to go ahead and share. We're going to do breakout rooms. I'm going to share the link for everybody to access before we go to breakout rooms. We're going to have 6 different groups, I think. Yeah, we have enough to do 6. So the only thing that I ask, just if I'm going to bump you off so that I can show what the document looks like. Okay. Okay. So we no longer have Jamboard, so we're going to be doing it in just Google Docs. For those of you who remember Jamboard, that was kind of a fun platform that we could use Post-its and everything. So if you are in group 1, you'll just fill out this first page. The case studies here, just look through mobility options, what time they would have to travel, like what options would they have and where would they get off if they have a transit bus. And then we have each new page has a new group, so 2 through 6. So I'm going to go ahead. When you're in your group, we'll just need somebody who's a note taker who can take the notes on this. Am I sharing my screen? I am, right?
Yeah, we're seeing the Word document.
Perfect. So when you're in your group, you'll have maybe a note taker who will jot down who is in your small group. And you all will just brainstorm what options there are available for this person. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, and then I will open up the breakout rooms. Does anybody have any questions before I open up the breakout rooms? No?
I can do that too, Angel.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Okay. I think there should be between 5 and 4 people per group, and we will see you shortly.
Well, you'll have 10 minutes.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
10 minutes. Let me do that. Yeah. They're gonna close in 10 minutes.
Thank you all.
Please join your team, your group.
So I don't know. It looks like Paul and Alex are probably getting set up for the presentation at the end. Sarah, do you want to join a group? You're on mute if you're chatting.
Okay, I think
Angel, are we?
Can you hear me now? Oh my
Yep.
gosh,
Yeah, I
sorry.
can hear you.
Okay, good. Yeah, I can join one. Which one should I do?
okay. I can send you to one.
For those who just joined from the transit plan team, we are doing breakout groups.
Angel, we're on some sort of landing page in the Caribou Room TV. Do you have any idea how we can make it scroll down so we can join the Zoom meeting in the Caribou Room?
I don't, let me go down there and look, sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Jessica, will you pay attention to see if anybody's having any problems?
Yes,
Thank
I'm
you.
assigning people to different rooms.
Okay, I'll be right back. I'll be down there.
Okay. Hey, Jennifer. I'm gonna assign you to a breakout room.
I think Jennifer's a part of Alex's squad,
Oh, okay, yes.
right?
Oh, okay.
Hi, Jessica. Good to see you.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
okay. Just getting
Okay.
organized. Thank you.
Okay, no, you're good. Sounds good, thanks. And Alex too is probably getting organized. Okay. Yeah. The carrier room can be confusing sometimes, so. Um,
Have a couple people in the waiting room. I'm just gonna let them in.
With that,
Carly's with Alex Timpson and Kelly.
Okay. Sorry, I'm out of breath. So Alex's team needs to give their presentation next.
okay,
So after we do debrief from the breakout, we can do their presentation.
were they able to get the, no, okay,
I think they like forwarded my invitation to the room and then the room couldn't register for the Zoom.
We
I don't-
tried.
Oh, sorry, I forgot you guys were on here. We're all like talking
Yeah.
about technology. Because there has to be like an email, right?
right, okay. Sounds good. Well, there's about 4 more minutes here, and then we can just do the quick debrief.
Okay, sounds good.
Mhm.
I'm running up and down those stairs. I'm out of breath.
Those stairs, there's something about those stairs. That's why I use the elevator, because I'm tired of feeling like I'm not in good shape when I
Yeah, I get to the third floor and I'm breathing like I just run a marathon. I'm
yeah.
like, okay, what?
Or like if I'm talking, like when I'm walking up the stairs, I'm just like, man, I should like practice talking on a treadmill or something. I heard I heard that that's what Taylor Swift does, is she sings her songs on a treadmill to be able to sing and dance.
Yeah. Melissa, you had treadmill, right? Like for your desk.
Yeah, I wasn't using it, so I got rid of it.
Oh, you should have told me.
Sorry.
I was interested in one of those, but then I was like, I don't know if I could focus and walk at the same time.
Yeah, I liked it and I could focus. It I don't have enough space in my apartment and I wasn't using it enough to make it worth it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 3 more minutes.
I'm surrounded by both Sarah and Felipe doing the case study, so I'm basically doing the case study.
Sorry, you were kind of muffled. Maybe it's just my ears. Maybe I'm like going deaf, people.
No, it was a little bit low. It was a little bit low. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, it's the new computer. I'm gonna blame it on that.
Yeah, why not? That'll be your like excuse for the next year. You're good.
Yeah.
I got a new computer last fall. Okay.
Oof. Okay, 2 more minutes.
Thanks, Alex and team. Sorry, I should have clarified with y'all what time before we finalize the agenda. But we'll just debrief. It'll probably take us about 5-10 minutes to debrief from the breakout rooms, and then we'll have you give a presentation.
Okay, sounds good. And no worries. We had in our minds that we were at the top and so just booked ourselves into too many things, but this will be great. Thank
Well,
you.
And I may have told you that you were at the top or that I could have put you at the
knows?
top and
Make it work.
at least the facilities folks aren't like right behind my like door right here talking anymore.
Yeah. About 1 more minute. I took a screenshot of the people in each group.
Oh, thanks. Smart thinking. It's told him 1 more minute.
Yeah.
Melissa, I forgot that the folks, the Nelson Nygaard folks and Alex's team are heading up to Netherlands. I don't know if you all wanted
Yeah,
to.
Landon invited me, like, so I'm gonna try to go after my bike to work day update.
Perfect.
Some people should be joining shortly.
Okay.
Should start joining.
Welcome back from the breakout rooms. Hi, Brandon. I don't know if I saw you join in, but I'm glad you're here.
It's nice to be here.
Yeah. I'm really loving your biking and transit videos that you and Dr. Cog are doing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've definitely gotten some positive feedback on that, so we'll try to do more of those.
Yeah, perfect. Hey. Well, welcome back. I think we have everybody back. We're going to debrief from the breakout rooms. So I'll be calling on each of the teams. It's a pretty like simple, not easy, but simple solution. So we'll go ahead and get started. Why don't we start with group number 1? Does anybody want to volunteer to kind of give an overview of what you all talked through for this case study?
I can start and then my team members can chime in. We talked about the mountain ride, fixed route service. We pulled up the schedule and it looks like it takes, it goes straight to the B&F grocery store. So this person could pick it up in Ward and take it to the grocery store. We were having some trouble finding the schedule, and then when we did find it, we felt like it was not very clear with route planning. So I think those were kind of the key takeaways, but anyone else from group one, feel free to chime in.
Yeah, you got it for me too. Yeah, I think finding the schedule online was kind of tricky. Yeah, I did find, yeah, we found it. We found the link, but then it was confusing. I also was thinking like he is carrying, like he's wanting to get ice, so he's going to be carrying ice. That's going to melt. Like that's tricky. I really wish I could just help this guy get a fridge, but that's not my job. So I wish it was. Um,
Assuming it's a real person.
yeah, is it not? It's not a real person.
I don't know. Angel created this.
Oh,
These case studies
okay.
are loosely inspired by actual
By real
like
Okay,
encounters.
that's
we've
what I
had.
thought. Okay, that's what I thought. Well, I want to give him a fridge, but
Okay.
What if he doesn't have electricity to have the fridge? I thought he was off the grid.
Oh,
That's why.
oh, I see.
Yeah. Megan, yeah, you are right. I think that you would have to get him electricity first.
Oh, that's
think one of the-
beyond my knowledge.
Yeah. So, group two, did you have anything else or any other details that you wanted to share? That was very helpful feedback about like just not being able to find the schedule and we could improve the look of it. Anybody else from group two or any of the other groups actually, if you want to chime in, if you had different information?
I thought maybe I saw Robert unmuting. So did you have anything to say?
Yeah, and this may be way out in the weeds, but it's gonna take some planning on this individual's part. They're gonna have to plan some activities so they can have be able to kill some time, because from the time that they get there to the time either the lunch or the return trip is going to be at least a couple of hours. But also they need to plan for the weather. You're carrying carrying things or having to be you know in one place or the other may not be covered. You know, you need to plan for you know, whatever type of precipitation. You know, as far as I'm sure, you know, I know people in that area, they plan as far as how they dress, but just the practical logistics of having to travel and get off the bus and just be around town.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate it, Robert.
Our group
Wade, you
two-
also have unmuted yourself. Do you want
Yeah.
to chime in?
So in group two, what we determined is, and we had some good folks that were very aware of the shuttle, but that it was run by VIA, and they weren't for sure if it was on their website, but I actually found it on. It has a lot of really good information. The only thing is it doesn't have the new Saturday. It just has Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, but it runs Saturday as well, from what we were told. And then it does have some really good questions. I mean, it like answers questions pretty nice, like dog friendly, no registration required, it's free, and things like that. But unfortunately, the Saturday needs to be added. But other than that, it's a real friendly kind of web page.
Great, thank you. Yeah, and just a little background. So at one point we only had 2 days and we were trying to decide which 2 days. The Mountain Mobility Working Group works with VIA on like this planning of the service and just like how to support the service. And we were going down to 2 days and we had said Wednesday, Thursday could be the days. And we heard that people like having the days split because they do have to go into Nederland to get ice for their coolers, which I don't think that I would have thought of that. So it was definitely inspired by a true case. So thank you all for working through this. We really appreciate it. We are going to have a shift of our schedule because our folks that are overseeing the transit plan, they have to head up to Nederland for another presentation and a tour. So I'm going to go ahead and move Alex's team. Jennifer's going to be presenting. So I'll turn it over to whoever on the team is going to take the lead right now.
Things I know.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jennifer Wieland with Nelson Nygaard. I am the project manager of the consultant team for the countywide strategic transit plan. And apologies for a little bit of goofiness there. We're all in a room together, all using our laptops because we couldn't quite make the screen work. And if Alex tries to talk to you, it's going to be the worst echo ever. So you just get me today. But I am joined in the room today by Alex Hyde-Wright, who is the project manager for the countywide strategic transit plan for Boulder County. He's waving at you. Paul Kwiatkowski, who manages transit operations for Boulder County, and Carly Seif from Fair and Peers, who is part of our team on the consultant side and will be leading the development of our engagement strategy. And so what we're hoping to do today is just give you a quick overview of the work on the countywide strategic transit plan, what we're going to be up to over the next 18 months. And we do have a couple of Mentimeter questions sprinkled in throughout the presentation. So for those of you who like to use Mentimeter, that will be an option. If that is something that you don't like or prefer not to or have any problems connecting, you can certainly just drop any feedback into the chat as we go. But I will try and run through a series of slides here, and then we'll pause for a little conversation before we go on. So let me share my screen. And I will just share the full screen so I can jump back and forth between a couple of things. All right, everybody seeing that? Excellent. Okay, thanks, Angel.
Yep.
So again, as I mentioned, my name is Jennifer Wieland. I work for a firm called Nelson Nygaard, and we are transportation planning folks who work across the country. We started as a firm that was focused on transit, and now we really do all of the things to make sure that people have options in terms of how they move in communities across the country. I am not based in Boulder County. I am based in Seattle, but have worked in this region before, specifically for the city of Denver on a couple of projects, and am really excited to have the chance to get to know all of you and to get to understand the county and its needs as we think about what transit in Boulder County looks like in the years ahead. So quickly today, I'll tell you just a little bit about what we are up to and talk briefly about who's part of the team, who you're going to see and have the chance to engage with, what our schedule looks like over the next 18 months, and then we'll close with a look at what we're up to this week, as well as some of our other near-term priorities. So just to get us started in terms of the project purpose, when we talk about a county-wide strategic transit plan, this is a plan that has the opportunity to do a lot of different things, and it needs to do a lot of different things. You all have such amazing bones to build upon in Boulder County in terms of the transit services that are already offered, in terms of the multimodal network that connects people to transit, and in terms of some of the programs and policies that you have in place. You've also done a lot of planning. And so this vision plan is the strategic transportation plan is really the opportunities to set a clear and cohesive vision for what transit service looks like across the county. We also recognize that travel in Boulder County doesn't just stop at the county line. And so thinking carefully about the regional connections beyond the county's boundaries is another really important piece of this. We have to ground the work that we do in a clear understanding of the needs and opportunities in the county today, and also as we try and look ahead to the future. We're not coming into this process with a set of solutions that has worked in Seattle and we're sure they're going to work in Boulder County. This is really about the ways that we dig in to understand what is most needed here, who we most need to serve, and what the opportunities are to do that. And so we really want to ground our work in what is happening in the county today. A vision is a wonderful thing, and having a vision that the entire county buys in on is definitely our goal. But if we don't have a clear plan for how that vision gets implemented, including what the funding will look like, who's going to be in charge of implementation, you will just have a lovely plan. And so our goal is to really set that very clear roadmap so that you are seeing the results of the input that you give come to fruition in the years ahead. And as a piece of that, community input and engagement, deep working with the community is really a piece of what this plan will include all the way throughout. And so we want to make sure that the plan really does reflect what community members need and want to see. And so when we think about the universe of issues that we'll try and tackle through this plan, we are focused on the ways that we center equity in the plan and that we are really trying to build on the strong goals that Boulder County holds. We also recognize there are a host of challenges to be addressed, including accessibility challenges, really thinking about who needs to be served by transit, recognizing the affordability issues in Boulder County and specifically the mismatch between jobs and housing, recognizing that transit service, not just in Boulder County, but across the country, is still struggling to recover from the pandemic. And then thinking very carefully about how a great transit system and great transit services can be part of creating a more resilient community as we move forward. And that is about connectivity. It's also about making sure that the investments actually get delivered. So as I mentioned, we are building on a lot of amazing work that has been done. We are in the process of learning all of this right now and look forward to learning from all of you as we go. But this is not the first time that the county and county jurisdictions have started to try and answer some of these questions. And so we're really fortunate to have that starting place. So I would love to take this opportunity to hear a little bit from you all before I talk about the nuts and bolts of what we'll be doing. We've got a Menti poll set up here. And again, if Menti is not something that you use regularly, that is no problem. The chat is great, but you can go to menti.com and the code that we will use is 59811122. You can also use your phone to scan the QR code that is on the screen. So hopefully folks were able to connect, and I will flip over to the Menti. And yes, looks like we have some of you connected. The code is at the very top of the screen as well if anybody is still trying to join. And again, you should feel free to use the chat, which I will actually open now that I've invited you all to do that. So this first question asks you, what are the biggest challenges facing the county today? And really do try and think countywide. And think about maybe how those might be different in 10 years. So the options that we set out were affordability, climate change, rapid growth, funding, travel patterns, how are people moving, and then an option for other. And so it looks like affordability has really jumped to the top here. We see funding and changes in travel patterns. Transit, especially fixed route transit, has historically not done a great job of serving people's travel patterns beyond kind of the core commute hours. And so thinking about what that needs to look like as we move forward. But it looks like affordability is really, really top of mind for this group. All right, I'm going to ask you to flip that and to think about, and we've got climate change as well. I'm going to ask you to flip this and think about the biggest opportunities. So again, as I mentioned, the county has done a lot and has really, many of the county's jurisdictions and the county itself have made investments in transit, really done a lot to try and improve mobility. So what are some of those opportunities we should build on? Strong economy, a growing market for transit, ambitious goals. So the county really is very clear about equity and climate goals and local investments. Looks like local investments is jumping to the top. And we have somebody who has said other. So if the person who chose other would be willing to tell us what's on your mind, I would love to hear from you.
That was me, and I live up in the Boulder section of Boulder, or the mountain section of Boulder County. And what we see are point connector services are needed to get people between the options that are available. And sometimes the projects that come up are volunteer driver projects, but they never really actually get off the ground in the mountain area anyway. I've seen strong senior services, volunteer services happening, volunteer driver programs happening, but there's currently not a lot of public transportation that gets you actually from point to point in Boulder County. So you got to piece together different sections, like Via Mobility goes to the county line. But then
Mhm.
you have to find another Via Mobility at the other county line, get off the bus, unless you have Access-a-Ride or IntelliRide or something like that. So
Okay.
it's that kind of connections to get the different regions or markets together. That's what I see.
Excellent. Thank you for that. We often talk about how important it is to have a seamless transit trip. And that can mean a lot of different things, but a piece of it is exactly what you shared, having the connections between those investments that have been made so that you aren't stuck somewhere waiting for the next leg of your journey, or you can't even make that next leg you need to. Looks like we had one other person who dropped an other vote. Does that person want to share?
Hi, yes, that was me. Hi, everyone, Danny from RTD. One thing that comes to mind, especially in light of recent, climate disasters like the flooding in Texas, fires in LA, Colorado is a fire state, right? Is the role of transit and transit planning in disaster relief management. And so I know that that's a little bit of a separate use case for transit, but I do think it's something that communities really need to be thinking about, right? Using that community service to get people out of harm's way. So.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Danny. I think that's really important as we talk about things like mobility hubs and places where people can come and connect and know that they have a service. That can be really important in an emergency or evacuation situation as well. And especially in a county where you might not have two roads that connect, that make the same connection, having some redundancy in the ways that we are providing supports for people in an emergency is really important. Okay, I'm going to ask, we'll save this one. Okay, leave that there for a second. Let me share a little bit about what we are going to do over the next 18 months, and then we'll ask you a couple more questions. So I introduced Carly from our team. I described Nelson Nygaard a little bit. The team that is going to be working with the county and with all of you on this project includes Nelson Nygaard and Farron Piers, in addition to Carly's work in helping to shape our engagement strategy. The Farron Piers team will be helping to understand travel patterns. So thinking about where are people coming from and going to, and also helping to develop some of the transit strategies. We have Economic Planning Solutions, so that's EPS. They will support us with the financial components of the project as we get a little further along and understand what it is we're trying to pay for. OV Planning and Design will support on engagement, and then Bespoke Transit, who's also based here in Boulder, will support with some of the partnerships pieces of the project. So that group of folks, as we think about our work unfolding with all of you, it is really in three different buckets where first we want to be listening and learning. This is our opportunity to shape an equity framework for the project, to start some of the engagement and understand the challenges we need to address. Then we'll move into setting a clear vision and thinking about what are the project's programs and policies that are needed to achieve that vision and to address the opportunities and challenges. Finally, the last piece of the project is where we bring it all together. And as I mentioned, think about funding and implementation and governance. Who is actually going to do this? And so we have 7 different tasks that are set up across the project. I would love to get a little bit of input from you all around outreach and engagement. And so that is the next Menti question that I have for you. But what we've got unfolding is really over the course of the next 6 months, starting that community conversation and then digging into the existing conditions and travel demand. So that is where we will focus our energies first. I wanted to mention our project advisory committees to you. We will have 4 different committees that are helping to advise the project team, along with, of course, all of the input from the community. There will be 2 standing community advisory committees, one in English and one in Spanish. They will be supported by and complement the Subregional Forum Technical Advisory Committee, so the TAC, and the Subregional Forum, and that's our elected officials, and that'll be our policy body. So these 4 groups will meet 6 times over the course of the project, really with this intent to check in with the team, to be bringing input from the communities and perspectives they represent, and then helping to review the recommendations as we go forward. Their role is also to help support that deep engagement with the broader community. So that's what we'll be looking for them to do. We will share these slides with you so that you can look at the schedule in a little bit more detail, but this essentially shows the little people with speaking bubbles indicate where we will engage those committees at the 6 points throughout the project, as well as the ways that the pieces unfold. And you can see that this project really builds from one step to the next as we start with needs, move into potential solutions, set clear priorities, and then figure out how to get it all done. So let's go back to Menti for just a minute and would appreciate very much some feedback from you all around who is most important for us to engage as we begin our work. I'm curious about any of the perspectives that might feel like they've been missed in past planning projects. And so I see some of you have already chimed in, the Nepali community, historically underserved populations, youth coming up a couple of times, and youth with disabilities, multi-generational families, folks who don't ride transit right now or can't ride transit right now, mountain residents, caregivers, and veterans. I'll give you a second to keep chiming in. We had an equity workshop for the project yesterday where we had the chance to start thinking about how we'll build equity into every piece of the project and started some conversation around who is this planned for? Who do we need to try and serve through the project? And so really appreciate these ideas coming up. I think it was Jessica yesterday that reminded us about the importance of considering intersectionality and the fact that we all hold multiple identities. So thinking about the ways that, we talk about older adults with disabilities, youth with disabilities, and really bringing those perspectives to bear. Few other things that are jumping out for people, residents of Weld County. It's certainly thinking a little bit about the connections outside of the county will be important. People who are coming into the county for work, people reintegrating from halfway houses, people living beyond the county border and working in the county, people who are deaf or hard of hearing, and other people with disabilities. Excellent. People who have neurodivergence and are learning in different ways, people who are autistic or on the autistic spectrum, the workforce. Excellent. Okay, I'm going to ask you one final question here, and then I will just wrap up by telling you what we've got coming next. So if this plan, the countywide strategic transportation plan, if it can do just one thing, and it's okay for you to be selfish right now, if it can do just one thing, what do you think is the most important thing it could do for the county? And it's always hard when we're just starting a project like this to try and think about something that is a little ways down the line, but if it could do one thing, what should it do? Thank you to my team members for helping with the code. I appreciate it. And sorry for not doing a good job of paying attention to the chat. Okay, couple things that are popping up for people. Rides down the hill, get more funding for transit, help people with disabilities get to Longmont from Fort Collins, the Loveland area, reduce vehicle miles traveled and emissions, convert car trips to transit trips, so get more people riding transit, create opportunities for collaboration, provide connector services, so that was mentioned earlier, a comprehensive plan that is really actionable. So again, that vision that we can move forward and implement, increase ridership, make transit more reliable, connect communities that are isolated from transportation options, make transit cool and sexy. I love it. It can be fun to ride the bus, right? Decrease wait times, hire somebody that will take the decisions and propose plans and programs. We talked about reliability, connections throughout and into the county to really incentivize use, and the holistic multimodal network. Thank you for that too. It's really important that when we talk about transit, we are recognizing that transit is not going to everybody's front door. And so how do we think about the connections that are going to help people get to transit and what a multimodal network is that really works for everybody. Transit can be an important piece of that, but not the only piece. We've got to make transit appealing, has to be more appealing than driving and parking, and safe and friendly. One of the words that came up in conversations with jurisdictions yesterday was dignified. How do we make taking transit an experience that really feels good and makes you feel like you are important and that you have dignity in terms of how you travel? Excellent. Okay, I'm going to wrap up with a last slide here. Please feel free to keep sharing your input. And we'll just remind you what comes next. So this is a busy week for our team. We are trying to get out around the county, have some time to ride buses, to take different services, and to meet with people as well. So we focused on the county, talked to folks from RTD on Monday. Yesterday, we focused in the southeast part of the county. Today, we've been focused in Boulder and are about to head up to the mountains. So thanks again for letting us shift our schedule here. And then tomorrow, we'll be more focused on the northeast part of the county before we wrap up on Friday with some stakeholder conversations. So this is the first of many, many conversations. I do encourage you to reach out and let us know what you hope we can see, what we might have missed, and how we can best connect with some of the communities that you represent as well. We will be digging in with our public engagement plan, starting our advisory committee meetings, and then starting to dig into a little bit of that data. And the data can be both quantitative as well as qualitative. What are people's lived experiences telling us as we move into this project? So with that, that was very quick, and I apologize for moving through it so rapidly, but I will turn it over to Angel, and if there are questions, absolutely happy to answer them.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. We really appreciate that presentation. I don't know if anybody has any questions right now, but this will not be the last time that you see the transit planning team. So there'll be plenty of opportunities, and I'm sure that we'll even send out requests for you all to share surveys with your networks or requests for volunteers to your networks. So looking forward to really completing this plan, and just thank you so much for how much effort you've put into thinking about equity. Does anybody have any comments they want to put in the chat or voice before the team heads up the mountain? Okay. Thank you, Jennifer, and thanks, Alex. Sorry about the technical difficulties, and we'll think it through better next time.
Thank you very much. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Great. Well, as they hop off, I know that Danny Herman, let me just see if he's still on the call here.
I'm here.
Oh, there you go. There you let. So just want to let you know that, Kathleen, you all know that Kathleen retired March 4th. Well, on June 4th, we had a new boss, start, Danny Herman. So he has experience with CDOT Region 1, and I'll just turn the floor over to him to introduce himself so y'all get to meet him.
Yeah, thanks, Angel. So yeah, my name is Danny Herman. I'm new to the county. As Angel said, I've been here since early June, so just about 6 weeks or so getting my feet under me. But yeah, I was with CDOT Region 1 as the planning program manager. I was with them for 17 years total, and of that, I think about 14 as the planning program manager. So yeah, excited to get to know everyone and all the new people I'll be working with. And you can always reach out to me directly or through Angel if you need anything, but yeah, I'm looking forward to working with everyone. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Danny. And I think I might have misspoke. I think Kathleen left on March 4th. I don't know if I said March or May, but so took us a little bit, but we're glad that Danny's here. We're glad we have leadership now. Thank you so much. So let's go ahead and head on to the next item for our updates. Melissa, I know you also have to head up to Nederland. So will you and Elaine like to give updates on Bike to Work?
Yeah, I can. I just wanted to see if we wanted to share the screen or not, share the presentation again or not, but
I think we're good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I could start, and then Elaine, if you want to chime in on how the Boulder bike to work day went. But this was my first time at the City of Longmont's hosted Superstation, and I think we saw like maybe 200 people or so, which was really fun because it was their first Superstation to host. Lots and lots of kids there, which was really exciting, and yeah, it was good energy, and I think that they um Kaylee and Ben with the City of Longmont, they did a really good job planning, and looking forward to the future ones. And I don't know if Elaine and Darcy wanted to share how your guys' station went, but
Yeah, I'm happy to share. Just to put it in context for people, Dr. Cog reports over 14,300 participants in this throughout the whole region. So, you know, that's significant. It shows the commitment and excitement people have in the area for biking. And there were some 230 stations, both breakfast stations and later in the day stations later in the, in the afternoon. So locally, Dr. Cog counts 100 businesses as part of the challenge. They do carry groups over from prior years, so I don't know that all 100 were active participants really doing the promotion internally. We're going to keep working on that for the future, just because, you know, it's kind of fun. We did wind up with one winner in the business category, which was NCAR UCAR. So kudos to them. Leave it to climate scientists to care about getting out on bikes and promoting that. But what's also phenomenal is 70 of those stations were in Boulder. So some of you may realize we kind of started the tradition of Bike to Work Day in Boulder, and then it grew, you know, to a bigger walk and bike month for us in Boulder, and then in the county, and then the whole region. So we still are a really significant element of what Bike to Work Day is. And we had a blast at the chamber. We've taken to doing this Superstation with so many places of where people go. And we counted 920 people visiting our station, which I was like, oh, we might hit 600 this year. And then we hit over 900. So it was really pretty exceptional, very exciting, great atmosphere, because there's just so much that's on offer, whether you wanted to have the fun of painting, of you know, being able to get Voodoo donuts, as well as breakfast sandwiches and coffee. So it's just, you know, and talking to folks in Fort Collins and Denver. In Denver, they do a big station at the Civic Center, and it doesn't have simple access points. So they counted a few hundred, but they realized it's hard for them to capture everybody. In Fort Collins, they funnel everybody sort of through a main entryway. So that's the only area I've talked to that seems to have had more people. But Fort Collins is another just super biking community. They really go all out on Bike to Work Day. So we'll just keep looking towards them and expanding, but lots of fun. For us, we love to promote these challenges and opportunities for people to use a variety of transportation. During the month, we were promoting, we got Topher and some folks out on their adaptive bikes. We want to set the example of biking doesn't just need to be for able-bodied people. Even the mayor was just out on a tandem so he could be more social and waving. So it's a way to help somebody be on a bike, you know, however they possibly can. And we'll be doing another challenge in October. So if anybody knows people that, you know, might like a commute challenge, you know, have them reach out to us and we'll help you get set up. But yeah, lots of fun. Thanks to the city and county and everybody who participated and made it a great day. And RTD.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and in GoTober, it's not just Bike to Work, it's like all modes of transportation.
Exactly.
So I'm sure that we'll have another update in September before that to let you all know that it's coming. But thank you both, Melissa, for participating in the Longmont version. And I see Dylan's on the call as well. Thanks to the Longmont staff for doing such a great breakfast station or super station. And thank you, Elaine, for sharing and like leading the way on having a wonderful I guess, breakfast station, super station, all of it, all the painting. Thank you. Okay, so the next update I have, and I see that Gretchen's on the call, is about the Access-Ride Certification Center effort to find a location in Boulder County. I don't have any big updates, but just wanted to let y'all know that last week, Gretchen, MTM, and Boulder County, we took a tour of the Southeast Hub. So that's the Lafayette building that we have hosted that we hosted last month's meeting at. So we went, we toured, and we looked at different possibilities, and I think it's promising. We still have a lot of details to work out, but we'll be like basically debriefing between Gretchen's team and our team to see like how we move forward. I don't know, Gretchen, if you have anything that you want to share. I wasn't necessarily expecting it, but yeah.
Well, I just wanted to say, yeah, thank you for organizing that and for everybody who participated, you know, providing feedback and input as to where we could use space and how we could use space. I think it is a good option for us, and we're happy to be able to finally be able to, you know, look toward getting some assessments done in Boulder County. So thanks, Angel, for your
Thank you.
persistence.
So we'll we'll update you all as soon as we know, like when it's like what the timeline would be moving forward. But it looks like we'll be doing like a pilot period, and then assessing like how impactful it was, and then like looking for a longer term solution. So I think that it's really exciting, and I can't wait to have people be able to just go somewhere here in Boulder County. Thank you for being open to a new location too, Gretchen. Wonderful. Well, thank you for that, Gretchen, for impromptu chiming in. I appreciate it. So the next update that we have is about the photo shoot. So Felipe is leading a multimodal photo shoot, and it will be looking for volunteers. We'll send out a request. But Felipe, I don't know if you want to share any just tidbits on what we're looking for the photo shoot.
Yeah. So can you guys hear me okay?
Yep, perfect.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so we're working on the itinerary right now to solidify the times and everything. We're doing 6 different cities. We're doing, speaking of the mountain towns and the case study, we're doing Gold Hill, we're doing Netherland, and we're doing Boulder on July 30th. And July 31st, we're doing Lafayette, Longmont, and Lyons. And so we're looking for volunteer models from different ages, different backgrounds, different abilities, races, gender identities, as diverse as possible. So look out for a survey and form to if you can spread it around your communities and your network to help us recruit some of these models.
And they will get a $25 gift card. So it'll be about 45-minute to an hour time period. We'll do different slots. So it's, yeah, we won't expect them to be out for 2 full days. So
Right. So it'll be city by city, and it'll be probably an hour to maybe 2 or so hours.
Yeah, thank you. And we would love to get native, like locals, right? Like people who everybody knows, like in Netherlands or wherever. So we'll be tapping into your networks as much as we can.
Awesome.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Felipe. And then also the next update we have is the Dr. Mac member meeting. Hi, Steph. I know that, I know that there was another person from Dr. Mac here as well, right? I see Colleen here. Yeah. Hi.
Hi. Yeah, just wanted to share that we have our member meeting coming up in August, on August 5th. It will be held virtually. It'll be through Zoom from our normal time, 1:30 to 3. But just as a reminder for everyone here who aren't familiar with Dr. Mack, we are the Regional Coordinating Council, so we oversee 9 counties in the metro area, including this group. So it's a time for everyone to get together. And our meeting next month will be focused on our membership and our members. You don't have to be a member to join. Everyone's welcome to join. But I can put the link to the registration in the chat if you are interested. And yeah, that's it.
Great, thanks, Steph. Appreciate it. Okay, and the last organizational update that we had arranged for in advance was with GISA. So they're doing some amazing stuff for the 35th anniversary of the ADA. So GISA, would you like to provide an update on that event?
Yeah, hi everyone.
Hi.
Sorry, I thought you could see me, but my camera's being weird. I am Gisa. I'm part of the RTD ADA team, and we would love for you all to come and pay homage to the 35th anniversary of the passing of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Our theme is 35 years of progress, ADA past, present, and future. And we will be hosting anyone who can join us on Friday, August 1st at the Homewood Suites, Hilton Downtown Convention Center. So that's in Denver on 1550 15th Street. So 15th and Welton. We hope that you can come and join us in person. We'll have a history room, a multi-generational panel discussion, and we're going to unveil the bus wrap for the bus wrap competition that we hosted earlier this year. So hoping that you guys can come and participate in this event.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, I definitely registered. I enjoyed your civil rights celebration that you had last year or the year before. So it'll be great. And that sneak preview that you've shown with with the artwork, is that what the bus is going to kind of look like with the hand drawings?
Yeah, kind
Awesome.
of. So
yeah,
be
wonderful.
excited.
Yeah, so if you kind of want a little hint, look at the flyer that they send out. That's what the bus will look like. Thank you. Definitely looking forward to seeing you all there. Last but not least, Erin Vallejos from RTD is going to give a presentation, a short presentation on the changes expected for Access on Demand. I know that we've had a couple of presentations about this program over the years, and it's something that the people that we serve really depend on. So Erin, would you like to share your screen?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Give me just one moment. I think, can everyone hear me? I should ask that question first.
Yep,
Okay.
we can hear you.
And I have been having some problems with my camera, so if it starts glitching, I'd love that feedback at the end because I also need to do another presentation this evening. But let me go ahead and share. So thank you everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Erin Vallejos. I am with RTD. I am currently the Acting Deputy Assistant General Manager of Bus Operations. We're really good at titles at RTD. And so I have been assisting with our paratransit program since our former AGM of Bus Operations did leave us at the end of March. So quickly, I'm going to give a presentation. I know we are tight on time, but it's not very long. So we are just going to kind of jump in. We're going to do a quick paratransit overview. As you've gotten some presentations, I have a feeling this is not new information. Kind of just a quick summary of the process that we've gone through so far, and then the program recommendations that we will be presenting to the Operations Safety and Security Committee meeting this evening. So for the overview, again, I think most of you probably have a pretty good understanding of this, but we do have 2 programs within our paratransit department. One is Access-a-Ride, and as you are probably aware, this is our complimentary paratransit service. That is our federally required service that we provide to our customers. It supplements our fixed route services. There is a fare payment required. Customers must meet criteria set forth by the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990. Service is provided through all RTD branded Access-a-Ride vehicles that are 100% accessible. And this service must be scheduled at least one day in advance. And then our Access on Demand service, that is again our supplemental premium service for our paratransit customers. It is a subsidized curb-to-curb taxi and rideshare option. Again, you must be eligible for our paratransit Access-a-Ride service to be available or to be able to use Access on Demand. Some important parts to note, though, is that with this service, because it is kind of a premium service, trips do not need to be scheduled in advance, and trips are not shared, and they are point to point. Something else that is important to note that not everyone is aware of is that trips requiring a wheelchair accessible vehicle are primarily provided through RTD's Access-a-Ride fleet. So then just a kind of quick summary of how we kind of got here today. So this is something that we've been talking about for a very long time. Our general manager and CEO commissioned an APTA peer review. I apologize. Well, it's gonna just keep ringing, I'm sorry. So our general manager and CEO did commission an APTA peer review back in February of 2024. And while it was to identify ways to improve Access on Demand, that was not the only piece. It was to look at our paratransit program as a whole, a holistic look at everything. We did present those recommendations to the Operations Safety and Security Committee meeting in November of 2024. We came forward with some preliminary recommendations to the OSS committee for modifications. At that time, based on feedback that we were hearing, our general manager and CEO wanted to engage further with our board in dialogue surrounding some additional scenarios. And then we came back with some preferred scenarios that we are presented to interested parties and the board members as well. And again, as part of the peer review process, after we did that initial presentation to the OSS committee in November, we did do some pretty extensive outreach. We had 5 virtual and 2 in-person public meetings. We also had some roundtable discussions with leaders from our various advocacy organizations. We conducted 2 feedback surveys that were really targeted towards our paratransit customers. But we also had a web page available that was kind of more geared towards just the general public to provide feedback. And then we've sent out various, emails and pre-recorded messages with our IVR. And also we did assess 21 other transit agencies relative to their on-demand programs, specific again to paratransit, not just general on-demand. So we have, over the course of this amount of time, presented several recommendations along the way. We had our initial recommendation that was just kind of putting an idea out there back in November. Then again, we did some pretty extensive outreach and came back with a revised recommendation in March of 2025. And then again, we developed 2 additional scenarios that we socialized with the board in May. So the initial recommendation was a $4.50 base customer fare. And then all of these do have a live component that is available for customers that qualify. That initial recommendation had a 30 trip cap per month, a subsidy of $30 per trip. And then in all of the scenarios, we are proposing mirroring the current Access-a-Ride service area and hours. So again, that was that initial November recommendation. Then based on the feedback we received, we came forward with a revised recommendation. In that one, we did modify the trip cap to being 40 per month, but as kind of a trade-off, the subsidy per trip was proposed at $20. The 2 recommendations that we came back with, we presented them in May. It says April here. That was when they were developed, but presented to the board in May. One had a trip cap of $50 per month. One had a trip cap of $60. As another trade-off, the first scenario had a fare of $6.50. And this subsidy per trip was $20. The revised scenario 2 was what we were calling a tiered approach. There would be a trip cap of $60 per month, but the fare would be tiered based on the number of trips that you are taking. It would start at $4.50 for up to 30 trips, $5.50 for the remainder of the trips up to 50, and then $6.50 for anything above 50, up to 60. And so again, we received some additional feedback on these revised scenarios. And as a result of that, this is the recommendation that we are going to be presenting this evening. This is what we're calling the preferred scenario at this point, because it is what we're bringing forward as a recommended action, meaning the OSS committee will be voting on it this evening. We have proposed the trip cap at 60 per month. The fare is being proposed at $6.50 per trip. And again, that would be $3.25 for customers that can utilize the live fare. And the subsidy per trip would be $20. Again, this has been a bit of a trade-off based on feedback that we've heard to try to come to a cost savings that we feel is sustainable for the program. Because right now it is experiencing, kind of very unprecedented growth. And we're also still seeing growth in our Access-a-Ride service usage as well. So again, this would result in about a 36.5% saving month over month. As the program continues to gain popularity, the costs continue to rise every month. So while we have a projected yearly spend savings at about $5.6 million out of 15.3, again, we are seeing costs continue to increase. So these are numbers that, we worked with at the time based on projections, but again, we are continuing to see these numbers increase. So just again, a couple of things that are important to note. We did evaluate quite a lot of alternatives, and we have gone through a pretty extensive process of looking at everything to kind of come up with a cost savings that we felt was sustainable. Again, as I noted before, this is still a premium service because there are some things that are not available with Access-a-Ride, which are being able, not needing to schedule trips in advance, not having a shared trip and having it be directly point to point. Customers can use their allocated trips however they would like, and it is important to note that Access-a-Ride is available for pre-scheduled trips. If you know you need a trip, you can schedule the day before. And it also is available when customers do meet that 60 trip cap. Oh, sorry, wrong screen that I'm advancing on. And then, as I noted before, something that is really important to be aware of is that RTD is providing the majority of the wheelchair accessible vehicles for most of the trips. And the reason that this is important for everyone to be aware of is that Access on Demand trips with WAVE vehicles do reduce the availability on our Access-a-Ride service, which is our federally required paratransit program. And additionally, as there is a limited amount of RTD's WAVE vehicles for Access on Demand, it can also lead to longer wait times for those customers needing a WAVE vehicle. Currently, we have seen this reduce our capacity on Access-a-Ride by close to 17%. And when we first started looking at this last year, it was 10. So we are seeing that percentage increase, rather quickly. And then something else to note is that we've talked about the boundary mirroring the current Access-a-Ride boundary. 95% of the Access on Demand trips that were completed in 2024 would still be eligible for service with that boundary that we are proposing. So next steps, as I mentioned, we are going to be presenting at the OSS committee this evening, which then, depending on the guidance we receive there, we'll be going to the board meeting at the end of this month, July 29th. And provided that the board does approve modifications, we will, it'll be kind of, implementation is not the best word. There's going to be a lot of communication and outreach. So that will all happen between August and September, and no changes will be live until October 1st. So the implementation commencement, there is just a lot of communication that needs to happen. Customers are going to need to not get recertified for eligibility with Access-a-Ride, but they are going to need to re-enroll in the Access on Demand program. So again, that'll take a little bit of time, and then if approved, changes would officially take place October 1st. And that concludes what I will be putting forth this evening.
Thank you, Erin. We appreciate it. I know that there might be some questions in the group. My first question is the Live. So how do people qualify for the Live discount? Because I know the sticker shock of $6.50 might be a lot for people.
And I am going to kick this one to Gretchen because she is far better at explaining the process. But essentially, it does have to do with going through peak and going through that process. But I will let her speak to that a little bit more detail.
Yep, I'm happy to do that. Yes, so for those customers that meet the income criteria, and we have it very specifically laid out on our website. If you were to go to the RTD website and search LIVE, L-I-V-E, you will get access to the program. It's a program that is for anyone 20 years and up. And if you live alone, you need to be at or below 250% of the federal poverty level. So there are different income requirements for the number of household members you have. There is information on our website as to how to get to the Peak website. And there's also a phone number there that is provided so that if you are not able to access the website, you will be able to contact someone who can help you with that application.
Great, thank you. Sarah, I see your hands raised.
I had a question, Erin, about
Your audio is really low, Sarah. It might be the Windows 11 update with microphone issues.
I will add also, again, I know we are approaching 2:20. I am happy if you reach out to us, happy to answer any questions via email. If we aren't able to get to them today. And again, this is still up for board approval. So I am happy to come again once we do know everything is at the subject of board approval. So once we know officially what they approve, happy to come back to speak to that as well.
Great. Can you hear me now? No, we can't. So, and I asked a question, so a client could potentially have to qualify for Access-a-Ride, Access on Demand, and Live all separately. Is that correct?
So Access on Demand isn't really qualifying, but you do have to enroll in the program. But it is a much simpler process. Once you do have eligibility for Access-a-Ride, there are some decision points you have to make in terms of, selecting. Actually, Gretchen, can you talk to that a little bit better too? But it's a much simpler process than eligibility for sure.
Yeah, so you complete the eligibility process for Access-a-Ride. Once you have that eligibility, then you are able to enroll in Access on Demand. The purpose of that is so that we have the information that is in your accounts for whatever provider you're choosing so that we can link your account with ours. We don't just know automatically what your information is to be able to link your account to ours. And then, yes, you would have to qualify for Live separately because again, it's an RTD program, but it is run through Peak. And that's the process, that you have to be eligible through their process.
Thank you. And I know that we are at time, but I just want to thank you both for joining. Just to reiterate, you're presenting to the committee tonight, and then when does it go for final board approval?
Yes, final board approval is July 29th. The committee meeting tonight, anyone is able to attend, that is 100% virtual. So there is information on our website that you can link to register. And then the board meeting is July 29th at 5:30. That is a hybrid option, so you can attend and participate virtually, or you can also come to our Blake Street office location, 1660 Blake. But we do recognize that wanting to keep that virtual option available as it does provide additional access to people that might not be able to make it to Denver at 5:30 on a Tuesday.
Okay, Perfect. And one quick question Sarah wants to know, can people begin the registration for the new system before October 1st, or do they have to wait until October 1st to do the new system?
Once we know what we're enrolling for, we will update the form on the website, and then that re-enrollment will start as soon as possible. Ideally, August 1st, we will be starting that re-enrollment process.
Perfect. Thank
Yep.
you. Wonderful. So we will be meeting virtually next month. We're going to have a panel discussion on addiction, recovery, reentry. So that'll be a great panel discussion. We're still looking for a couple of panelists. So if anybody has any ideas, please send them our way. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all of your participation, and I'll see you next month.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.